On this episode of Travels with Bill, we're in Dauphin, Manitoba, taking a peek at some Christmas lights. These are seen in late November, so not everybody has their lights on yet, but we'll start here at the Dauphin train station. It's decorated in a very simple way, but check out that wreath. It looks amazing at night with the entire station lit up so very beautifully. If you're going to look at Christmas lights in Dauphin, before you start, it's a good idea to hit up Google. You're searching for a thing called the Twinkle Tour Map. It's a map of Dauphin that shows some of the more notable houses with Christmas lights. We're at Macneill Place on Brown Avenue. Now, there's only a couple houses lit up so far at the time of our visit, but we did actually stop and talk to one of the neighbors for a while. They were still getting their lights ready, and they said the next day or so they'd have them on. They promised something big, too. In fact, they said that Macneill Place, well, it would be worthy of an airplane landing because it would be so bright they wouldn't even be able to see the Dauphin Airport. They were afraid planes might end up on their street. Took a bit of a sneak preview at some of their lights. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be intense. They figured it would be on by about the last week of November, so by the time you're in Dauphin looking for lights, well, they'll be ready for you. I love the trees here. See how the lights go all throughout them? They stretch out right over top of the street, so you get to walk under them as you go by. And those stars on the side of the house, maybe the camera doesn't show them as good as it should, but they are beautiful and they're big. The house is big too, though, so the stars make it look like they fit in just right. The night of our visit, it was actually getting pretty windy. You can see some of the lights blowing around here a little bit. You'll see that more later on. It was also extremely slippery, but we got through and got some pictures for you. Now, certainly we want to show you a lot of Christmas lights in the 2021 season, so if you know of a place that has amazing Christmas lights, it doesn't have to be in Dauphin, anywhere in the Travels with Bill area, well, make sure you let us know in the comments below so we can check them out and share them on future Christmas episodes on the channel. Now, as good as this house is with the trees and the stars, well, you can see it's not even quite finished off yet either. The stars over top of the driveway aren't on, and Mr. Snowman has blown over the snow. So a bit of work to do, but they'll be fixing that up. Macneill Place, one of the best spots in Dauphin, and it's on that Twinkle Tour map, so you'll be able to find it easily. We're going to head off to another whole avenue that the map says is great. This is just walking along Forrest Avenue. Now, I'm going to show you several houses in a row here, simply so you can see how lit up the whole avenue is. It's kind of nice if you go for a walk. In fact, this house has Christmas music coming from that little display out in the front, too. Most of them are silent, but it's nice. I like the ringing bell there. When you're filming at night, well, it's kind of a challenge, right? Because the camera picks things up a bit differently than your eyes do. It looks good here, but it does look better in person. So if you get a chance to go out, either driving around or going for a walk like we are here, it's well worth checking out some of these houses in person because you'll pick up a lot more than maybe the camera does and see some of the intricate details that we sometimes miss when we're filming in the dark. Just going past the season's greetings sign there. Next up is Olaf. He's out enjoying a nice little time in the snow. Now, some of these decorations aren't huge. You don't have them be so much you can't see the house, but it looks so good. Even just the lights outlining the edge of the house like that. And the next door neighbor's kind of the same thing. It's traditional, but when you have house after house after house on the same block, all having Christmas lights, oh, it looks great. We've just crossed over to the other side of the street here. We're still on Forrest Avenue and just walking along the other side. I love that Christmas tree. Isn't it cool when it's just red and green lights? The whole yard here is themed. It's either green or it's red or a mix of the two. It looks amazing. Now, a few people while we were out filming were kind of looking at us wondering, what the heck were we doing? So if you're seeing one of your houses here, well, now you know the answer to those weird people that were wandering around with cameras in the dark doing something in your front yard. Well, we were taking pictures to share it with everybody. As you can imagine, you don't put up Christmas lights without expecting other people will see them. Most are actually kind of proud when you drop by to see too. So you should never worry about driving around taking a look, because the more vehicles they see, the more they know you're appreciating their lights. This front yard is one of those ones that doesn't show good on camera. It has big spruce trees out in the front here. They kind of block the view from the camera, but in person you see the lights through them a lot better, and it looks beautiful that way. Are you a big fan of blow-ups? I know there's really people with two minds of that. Some people say blow-ups just aren't traditional enough, but yet they look kinda cool. This house goes for both. It's got the traditional lights on the roof, some static displays there, then it's got Santa, and he is out jet skiing. Well, it's a pretty cool blow-up. We've got a few more coming up too we're going to show you, because some blow-ups, I don't know, they look a lot like Christmas to me. Maybe the coolest one I've seen lately is a dinosaur eating a Christmas present. He's not in this Dauphin show here tonight, but it's a pretty neat blow-up and worth seeing. Well, we're moving on to Veterans Drive. We're going to take a look at some of the houses on it. Now, that's a much longer street. It's a little bit tough to find, but if you look at the map, you'll figure out how to do it. The whole street is lit up there as well, and more coming up every day. You can see all the marks in the snow here where they've just been out putting these lights up fairly recently, and that's the whole idea, is to get, the lights put up maybe when it's warm, but I don't get mine put up when they're warm either. A couple of these houses, I admit, I maybe wasn't paying enough attention to where we are. Veterans Drive is a great street. I'm not going to promise you this house is actually on Veterans Drive, because on my list, well, I missed writing down a couple of the locations. We'll do better next time. If you're driving around Dauphin, though, you'll certainly find it. To find all of these, I was following that Twinkle tour map and just driving from one marked street to the next, and I happened upon them all. So you will happen upon them too, even if they're not exactly where I claim them to be. It's actually a very attractive house, even if it didn't have the Christmas lights on it. This is just across the street from it. Also very neat. Notice how they've got the floodlights on the different angles of the house there. So one side's red, one side's green. I love those big stars. There seems to be a lot of those big stars going on in Dauphin, and they fit the houses so well. I know lots of times you see the really small stars, but the big ones look better. I will also admit, we did not go to every house in Dauphin. The whole point was to just give you a quick taste of Christmas lights so you can see what they're going to be like as we travel around this holiday season looking at them. Here we look back across the street, that house we saw just moments ago. There's quite a few lit in this area, but certainly as you go closer to Christmas, you'll find more and more. Now, this one was super traditional. I loved it. It's just some lights strung on a tree with a star hanging there. The star's kind of 3D, so we'll go back and forth here a little bit so you can see how it's set out. It's not flat like a lot of them are. That looks pretty neat. I like the white star with the colored lights. Looks pretty cool, I have to admit. And this is one of the places where the guy in that window, well, he was certainly paying attention to what the heck we were doing. So hi, whoever you are, and thanks for sharing your Christmas lights with us, because it's really neat to see them, and everybody else wants to see them too. We're down here at the end of Veterans. Check out this, kind of traditional mixed with some new age styling in there too. It has the icicle lights on all the layers of the house. I love those, but see the green on the doors? Those are rope lights along the edges of the doors and along the stairs there as well. Now you're not seeing the rope light as much as you're seeing the green reflection of it on the house. And to me, that is a really unique look. I didn't see a lot like that. The only thing I changed is I should have moved those cars out of the way so you could see the whole house at once, but it's pretty cool looking. Next door neighbor has some neat lights up as well. We're going to head on over that way, take a peek at them. See a couple snowflakes there, a little bit of lights along the edge, and then you can see the backyard. See Mr. Santa Claus there with the blow-ups in the back? Well, that's pretty cool. I love the lights in the trees too. They're moving a little bit. We see that several different times throughout Dauphin tonight. Those icicle lights that are kind of animated inside themselves. Well, they look good. Back up a little bit so you can see neighbors side by side. You can see the difference in light temperature here. The cool white versus the warm white. Well, it doesn't make a big deal when they're side by side, but you can certainly tell when you're going shopping which is which. Now, this house, I admit, I worked for a while. I looked at Google Maps, I looked at some street maps, I did everything I could to figure out where this was. And it kind of surprised me because it wasn't someplace I was going to. I happened upon it, so we'll just call it the Gingerbread House. It's an amazingly cool house. Not just lights here. If you look up on the step, you see the presents. There's some ribbon around the door too. I wasn't quite brave enough to walk right up to the door, but I went in a little bit here so you can see some of the detail. Now, this is a house that is, well, it's traditional, but then you find the blow-ups, and the blow-ups don't make a big deal of it being not nice because they fit right in. See this tree there with the lights blinking away? The biggest reason I call this the Gingerbread House, though, is this amazing little gingerbread house in the front. You can see how windy it was. The Merry Christmas sign blowing right over there. Check out the lollipops on sticks. They've got their wrappers on them. Gingerbread man's there, and there's the house. it's much better in person. It's all 3D. None of it's just printed out flat picture-like. It's all made perfect and lit. We're going to go around here in a moment and take a better look at it so you can see some more of what I'm talking about. But check it out. This is probably one of the best dressed houses in Dauphin. Oh, that poor snowman, he's blowing right over in the wind. It was so windy, but that's okay. It happens sometimes at Christmas. Let's go back to that gingerbread house. Now you see there's some cotton batting at the top, that smoke coming out of the chimney, and then you can see the roof. As we come around here, you can see those are 3D. They're actually on there. They look good enough to eat. I have no idea how they made that, but they're sparkly at night. They look like they have real sugar on them. It is divine, and I was getting pretty hungry just seeing the house. I did manage to not eat it, but it was tough. See the cupcake there too with a little cherry on top of it. You even got a penguin riding around in a little scooter car there. Everything's in this house, and you need to stop and walk at this one. Just driving by won't show it to you. There's a sidewalk there, so walk along the sidewalk. Take a look at all the different things they've managed to fit in, and it's not over the top. It's just the right amount of beautiful for this house. And when the light comes on in the porch, looks even better. If this is your house, leave that light on. It makes that ribbon just pop. Well, we're heading now to Kirby Avenue West and Hedderly Street. We're only stopping here for a minute because I wanted to show you some of the cute blow-ups they have. Check out the Angry Birds. He's about to go for a little ride on the slingshot. Are those pigs? They certainly look like pigs on the far end there. They've got another blow-up going on in the front yard. That is the Santa Claus train. Now watch how much that second car is blowing. Again, it's the wind doing that. Looks like they're having a rough ride tonight, but Santa's on the train and he's ready to go. Train. You know, we usually put a train in almost every video, and this is good, but maybe at the end of the video we should do something else for a train because, well, we found a couple things other than just Christmas lights when we're in Dauphin, so if you're into trains, well, stick around till the end. I think when you're going anywhere looking at Christmas lights, the best thing to do is get a cup of hot chocolate, get in the vehicle, and just drive around the whole city because you'll see all sorts of things. Following the map is good, but there's more to it than just that. This is 1st Street Northwest, 3rd Avenue Northeast. It's right kind of where you're coming into Dauphin if you're coming from the Roblin direction, just off the way a little bit. Now there's a neat thing going on here. Well, maybe you won't think it's neat if you're the reason it's going on. We're seeing the Christmas lights, but you'll also be noticing how the house is lit in red and blue. Well, that's not necessarily part of the Christmas lights. You can see what's happening down there at the end. There's a little more going on than just Christmas lights here, but I thought it was kind of cool. We'll swing around the house and show you how the whole house is blinking at night, not only from the Christmas lights, but from the police car sitting just down the road there. See how the siding's all colorful? Yeah, red and blue. Maybe should be better if it was red and green, but oh well, it happens. This is what was going on, by the way. A big smash up, really slippery, as I mentioned earlier that night, and unfortunately, right at the intersection here, well, 2 people met by accident, I suppose. No idea on injuries. I hope nobody was hurt, though one vehicle sure is smashed up pretty bad, but emergency crews doing their thing there, and we're going to carry on along with our Christmas light tour because, well, as fun as this is to watch, it's not really Christmas lights, is it? Here's the last house we're going to look at. This is not too far away. 1st Avenue Southwest, 2nd Street Southwest. It's all blue. Everything here is blue, and I know on the camera some of it looks just white, but that's again that thing about filming at night. So this is another one you should stop and walk by because the blue looks divine. Where there is a little bit of white stuff too, well, it fits in good, but look at how it's all so much blue. A couple of those big stars there as well. I like those icicles in the trees. Here they look even better. They're mixed up with some little lights with them. Yep, definitely much better than when you just have the icicles by themselves. I know I keep encouraging you to go for a walk. There's a sidewalk right by this house too. We're kind of walking on their driveway here. Maybe you're not so comfortable doing that, and well, I kind of sneak in because I have the camera and I want you to see up closer. But even if you stick to the sidewalk, you'll see most of this stuff and it looks cool. This house is kind of on a corner, so even driving by it, you see both sides here and it looks really nice. Now, that concludes the Christmas light tour, but I did promise I'd show you one other thing we happened across in Dauphin. Of course it's a train. Now, we're going to recycle this train in Train Week, so don't be too surprised if you see some of this footage again. Have you subscribed to Travels with Bill yet? We'd love to have you as a subscriber. We'll be doing a lot more Christmas light tours over the holiday season, plus Train Week is on the way. We'll do a whole week where every single day of the week we show you a train-related video, but I promise it's not just trains going by. There's a lot of interesting stuff in those videos too, so even if you're not a train lover, you're still going to find the videos worth watching. Farewell for now from Dauphin, Manitoba on our first Christmas light tour of the season, and remember, leave some details in the comments of where you think we should go look at Christmas lights next, and maybe you'll be seeing your house right here on Travels with Bill.